Get ready for an amazing journey to the heart of one of the most impressive archaeological discoveries of the 20th century, the enigmatic Dead Sea manuscripts. Imagine the thrill of discovering ancient texts hidden for thousands of years in mysterious caves near the Dead Sea. These manuscripts are not just pieces of paper, they are real treasures that take us back to an ancient era. Revealing the secrets and beliefs that shaped history. Stay with us and immerse yourself in this fascinating mystery that challenges time and illuminates our understanding of the past. When we compare the Dead Sea manuscripts with the Bible we know today, we find both similarities and differences. Many passages from the manuscripts are almost identical to those found in modern versions of the Hebrew Bible. Confirming the accuracy and continuity of the text over the centuries. For example, the texts of the Psalms and the Prophets in the Dead Sea manuscripts show a great conformity with the Masoretic texts that form the basis of the modern Hebrew Bible, demonstrating that many of the textual traditions were preserved with remarkable fidelity. However, there are also textual variations and differences that shed light on the process of transmission and compilation of the biblical texts. Some of these differences include minor variations in words or sentences. For example, a manuscript may use a synonym or a slightly different phrase that, while not significantly changing the overall meaning, indicates that there were textual variations in the manuscript tradition. Significant theological or liturgical differences are also evident in some texts. For example, the Dead Sea manuscripts include longer or shorter versions of certain Bible books. The book of Jeremiah, in the Coman manuscripts, appears in a shorter version compared to the Masoretic version, suggesting that different editions of the text circulated before the final consolidation of the biblical canon. Divine names and theological concepts are sometimes presented in an alternative form. For example, in some texts, the name of God is written in different ways, such as the frequent use of the tetragrammatogram EKWH in forms that differ slightly in spelling or in the context of use. In addition, the underlying theology in certain hymns and prayers in the manuscripts. It may reflect variations in the understanding of topics such as the nature of angels, resurrection, and eschatology, which are not so prominent or are treated differently in traditional biblical texts. In addition, the apocryphal and pseudo-epiphal texts, which constitute a significant part of the Dead Sea manuscripts, were not included in the Hebrew Bible canon. These writings provide a detailed view of the beliefs and practices of specific groups of Second Temple Judaism. Books such as the Book of Enoch or the Testament of the 12 Patriarchs offer narratives and teachings that are not found in the Hebrew Bible, but that were clearly valued by certain Jewish communities of the time. These textual and theological variations in Qumran's manuscripts they indicate that the process of compiling and transmitting biblical texts involved considerable diversity and that the scriptures that eventually became the Hebrew Bible were selected and edited from a wide range of traditions and texts. Therefore, the Dead Sea manuscripts not only confirm the endurance of many textual traditions, but also reveal the richness and diversity of Jewish religious thoughts. During the second half period, they help us better understand the historical and religious context in which the Hebrew Bible was developed and preserved, offering a more complete view of the evolution of the biblical text over the centuries. The Dead Sea manuscripts are fundamental to the history of the biblical text. They help us understand the evolution and accuracy of text over the centuries. Confirm the validity of later versions. In addition, the manuscripts reveal the existence of several Jewish sects in the second half period, each with its own religious interpretations and practices. This broadens our understanding of the religious diversity of that time. Some texts contain parallels with the teachings of Jesus and the New Testament, offering a broader context for the emergence of Christianity. For example, the concept of a master of justice. In some of the texts of Qumran echoes with the descriptions of Jesus as a master and spiritual leader. The saga of the discovery of the Dead Sea manuscripts began in 1947, when a young Bedouin shepherd, while searching for a lost sheep in the arid regions near Qumran, made a discovery that would change history by throwing a stone into a hidden cave. He heard a hollow sound that aroused his curiosity. Inside, he found something shining in the faint light of his lamp, a roll of old parchment carefully rolled up and sealed. From that moment on, a real race for knowledge began. Archaeologists and members of the Bedouin community have joined forces to explore more than a dozen caves on rocky cliffs near the Dead Sea. Uncovering millennia of secrets hidden deep in the hole, about 900 manuscripts have been uncovered, revealing a wealth of ancient texts that have shaken the foundations of religious and historical scholarship. However, preserving these treasures from the past has been a monumental challenge. Due to their antiquity and fragility, many texts are in a precarious state, and they require specialized care to prevent their deterioration. To ensure that future generations have access to these fascinating documents, many efforts have been made to digitize Elos and make it accessible to the public and scholars around the world. Today, many of these precious manuscripts are on display at the Israel Museum in Jerusalem, where visitors can marvel at the writings that have echoed through the ages. Providing a single window into the past and challenging our notions of history and faith. In addition to religious and historical aspects, the Dead Sea manuscripts also include astrological treatises, detailed calendars, and even texts describing purification rituals and medical practices of the time. These findings give us a more comprehensive view of daily life. What about the spiritual and practical concerns of the former inhabitants of Qumran? Astrological texts, for example, show how the ancients tried to understand and predict events based on celestial movements, while detailed calendars reveal a complex system of measuring time that was crucial to religious and agricultural practices. The Dead Sea manuscripts also contain apocalyptic texts. Like the war between the sons of light and the sons of darkness, they describe a final battle between the forces of good and evil. These apocalyptic texts provide insights into eschatological expectations and visions of the end of times, which were common among some Jewish sects of the time. In addition, community texts such as the Community Rule. They offer a detailed glimpse of the daily practices and rules that governed life at Qumran. They describe purification rituals, community meals, and the hierarchical structure of the community. This level of detail allows us to better understand how these groups organize themselves and live their faith in a practical and everyday way. The Dead Sea manuscripts are a valuable window into the ancient world. By providing crucial information on the history of Judaism, the development of biblical texts, and the cultural context of early Christianity, his discoveries continue to influence academic research and popular understanding of religious history. Continuous efforts to preserve, digitize, and study these texts ensure that their historical and spiritual value is accessible to future generations. We hope you enjoyed this video. Subscribe to the channel, shorten, and share for more content like this. Leave your comments below on what you found most interesting in the Dead Sea manuscripts. See you next time.